Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome into another edition of The Right Side of Campus. It is Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. Hope you're having a great day. I'm your host, the big man on campus. You know what this show is. We're here every day, 1 o'clock, getting you ready for the day in sports and recapping what we saw last night. Let's bring in our co-host, Donnie. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Great stories today. I know we're going to talk a little bit about Colin Kaepernick, but the Gene Smith, Ohio State stuff this morning. Yesterday, the Astros cheating, and now that all the videos are coming out, it's amazing that this stuff goes on, man.
I was going to bring that up, but
man,
anyone really care? I mean,
but it's
seen this before.
Nobody cares, but this is doing it to like another level, which is so like odd because usually it's like hand signals and the guy on second base, lifts his hat a little bit. This is just awesome stuff I'm watching through.
Donnie, it's a game at the end of the day. And we have to remember, you got to do what you got to do to win the game.
Yeah, and how about this? They're stealing this. Well, how about you throw down like 3 or 4 things and say you're only live on the third one and nobody knows? I always like they're stealing signs. You can change your cadence anytime you want to change signs. It's hilarious.
Sometimes, Donnie, you got to play the game to win. Yeah. You got to do what you got to do to win. Listen, in 70 years from now, Donnie, when the history books tell us how great Tom Brady and Bill Belichick was, there ain't no asterisk next to those Super Bowls.
Nope.
They won, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. All right, hope everyone's enjoying the day. It is a cold one out there. We're getting into winter a little early. It's already in the 20s at night. I'll tell you what, Donnie. You know what a pastime of mine is, Donnie?
What?
My house faces the street. My apartment, it faces the street.
Yep.
And I enjoy some nights just opening up the window and looking out and just feeling that cold air hit me. Cold weather's great. If you can't experience, if you can't experience cold weather, that sucks. Because a lot of people will knock it, and it sucks when it's like 5 degrees for like 10 weeks straight. But that first feel of cold air, you smell like the wood burning. There's nothing like that. It's really euphoric.
I got the heavy Eagles jacket on, walking the dog with the ski cap on.
You feel tough.
Yep, dogs running around like, man, it's been hot as hell all summer. This is awesome. Yeah, no, I love it. I love the fall and the winter until it gets that January, like post Super Bowl. I can do away with February and early. Exactly. Sure. But then you get March and it comes back. February is the worst month for me. I hate it.
I remember years ago, Donnie, State Property, one of their tracks were talking about how it was 20 degrees out and they're out in the corner fucking in fatigue selling drugs. That's the gutter shit. And you can't have that in Miami or New Orleans.
No.
You got to have cold weather. Donnie, this is how your hand should look. You should have fucking tough hands, You get that from cold. You get that from cold weather.
And if a girl checks your hands, like, I thought you were in construction. I'm a union delegate. Or what did he say in Goodfellas?
I'm a union delegate.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, if your knuckles are red and tough, that means you're tough.
All
right. Let's go to our morning headlines here. I want to start out with a story that I know you didn't hear about.
No.
And I know you'll appreciate, though.
Yes.
Frank Lampard is the manager at Chelsea, one of the great football clubs in the English.
And also Frank Lampard, Jeff, one of the great English soccer players
sure.
of the time, right?
Yeah, he was a great Chelsea player many years, and he's now become the manager of his club. Donnie, he's come under a lot of, not scrutiny, but a lot of people are talking about his practices at Chelsea. Basically, it was revealed that he fines his players for just about anything.
Who's he, Tom Coughlin over there?
Now this is something you'll appreciate, Donnie. Now these are all euros. This is the smallest fine. If you're late for a team meeting, 500 euros.
What's the translation on $500?
500 euros is like I don't know, like $750.
It's a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Phone ringing during a team meal or meeting, 1,000 euros.
Come on.
If you're late in the gym for pre-activation, so like getting your work in, $1,000. Late for match day or the team departure, 2,500 euros. You're late for medical appointments, 2,500. Not traveling back on team coach post match, $5K. Not turning up for corporate duties or community duties, $5K. Not reporting illness or injury before day off, 10,000 euros. And if you're late for the start of training, 20,000 euros.
Jeez.
Good for him. This is a young team. This is how you act as a professional, Donnie. You don't act like a fucking idiot. This is how you act. This is how we breed professionals, Donnie. And this is how you got to do it. You got to do it early. These young kids, it's not normal. If you're at your job, Donnie, and your phone rings, that shouldn't happen. You've got to breed professionals here.
Now, see, I agree with
Nothing
the concept, but if he's really a good manager or head coach, you don't need those fines.
That's the thing. I think it's there just in case for a new guy that wants to think he's this or that. You're not bigger than the team. Because, Don, if you look at other clubs in this Premier League, Arsenal is having major personnel issues because they don't respect the coach.
And Jeff, they can't even meet up on the corner anymore. I read a little snippet. You're not allowed to meet with the Arsenal TV board.
You're not allowed to meet with the fans. You're not allowed to.
Man, come on.
That's what's going on. And good for Frank Lampard for doing this now. You've got a yachty. This is a young team, Donnie. John Terry's not on this team anymore. Ashley Cole, these old guys, Peter Crouch. We don't have those type of players in the Premier League anymore. It's young kids. 18, Krista Pulisic, Donnie. He's like the old guy on this team. They have some older guys, but you've got to nip this in the bud early. Good for him. This is not a lot of money, Donnie. Okay. These guys are making tons of money, but it's just going to hit you where it hurts. Hey, now I can't go out to the club because I got to pay my 10 G's for, being late.
Showing up late.
Good for him. I think they should do this more in the NFL and the American sports. If you fucking, do something stupid, you don't do something or whatever. Think if they find Allen Iverson, Donnie, every time he didn't come to a fucking team meeting or something.
He probably wouldn't even care. He would just pay it.
No, he wouldn't have cared. But you get curb other Allen Iversons from.
Allen Iverson would be the type that says like this, like, "Hey, Allen, you're late. $5,000 fine." He goes, "Well, we got 10 games left. I'm going to give you 50 grand right now, coach. I'm out of here. See you later."
And I'm going to tell you right now, 9 out of 10 Chelsea fans love this.
Yeah.
Being held accountable, acting like a professional. I remember Donnie in The Wire, one of the episodes. Remember in season 5 when they start bleeding the police budget? They start like not paying them and stuff.
Yeah.
And Carver, who had become a sergeant at that point, he walks into the meeting at the beginning of the day and he goes, they're bitching about not getting paid and they're starting to act professional. And basically he goes, "You're about to police one of the roughest districts in the world. So we're going to go out there and we're going to act like professionals." It didn't work because morale was so low. But this is a place where morale is high. We're young. We're good. We got money. Let's act like professionals. Good for him. Next story, Colin Kaepernick, Donnie. Colin Kaepernick is hosting – well, he's not hosting it. They're hosting basically a private kind of session with him where he'll work out, he'll meet with teams, he'll meet with people, and they'll kind of just figure out where Colin Kaepernick is with his career. Now this is from Stephen A. Smith. I don't know how legitimate. Again, he's usually pretty good with info. He was saying early on First Take that unless Colin Kaepernick throws the ball up into the stands or says something incredibly wild, he will have a job in the next week, according to him. That's what Stephen A. said. Donnie, I know we're on opposite sides of Colin Kaepernick. Take out the activist, take out the person off the field. But let's talk about the football player. We really don't know what Colin Kaepernick is. He hasn't played in years. We don't know his physical state. It looks like he would be in good shape. I'm guessing he's worked out and he's still doing as he's a pro. But this is fascinating. Now that tune is starting to change a little bit on Colin. I don't think it's a bad thing. Look, if he's good enough, Donnie, let his play on the field do the talking. If he's good enough, you would agree. If he's good enough, he should be on a team. This is going to be a good way to find that out.
And this should have taken place in April. Like,
exactly.
This is what I don't understand because forget about my preconceived notions where I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback that would lead you to the playoffs.
But you got to give him a chance.
But I want to take that out because he's good enough to be on a team. Now, if you have him on a team in April and he's through mini camps and he's the backup quarterback and the starter goes down week 4, he would have already been in camp 6 months in NFL shape, ready, watching tape, knowing the offense. This in all, middle of November. Now, Grant, is it going to be a charade? Like, is the NFL circling their wagons, Jeff, and going like this? Like, watch this. He sued us. We hate him. We're going to put this fake charade on Cincinnati. You're going to fucking pick this guy up with your shitbag team, and we're going to put him out there in 2 weeks, and then we're going to laugh when he can't win a football game.
Yeah,
Is that what they're doing?
kind of.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
It's almost still kind of fucked up. It's like you're not even giving him the best. Like you're literally letting him.
Where's he going? Like he's not going to a good
rough.
team. A good team right now. Let's just say it's the New England Patriots. He doesn't want to go to the Patriots. He doesn't want to sit on the bench. Like his job is to get back and play football. I understand, but what organization outside of the shitbag teams, which is the ones that are going to end up being a shitty team, and then people go, well, Colin Kaepernick, he's a shitty quarterback. Look, he couldn't win with the Bengals. Who's winning with the Bengals?
I think what's great about it, Donnie, is this is an opportunity for him. Listen, we know what Colin is. We know he likes to go be a social activist, whatever. But this is his opportunity to show that, hey, look, I can play football still. I'm going to kill you with success. And I'm not saying he's going to be successful, but it's an opportunity for him to get the chance to go out. I agree, though. It's not the greatest situation. You're kind of putting him behind the 8 ball anyway because – contending teams aren't going to bring him in because
let's just say exactly. Like, let's just say you do bring him into a contending team, and I'm just going to play because obviously the Eagles are a very social conscious team, but they have too many. They bring in McCown, they have Sudfeld. They're not going to carry a fourth quarterback, so the Eagles wouldn't be signing him. But let's just say it's a I don't know, Baltimore Ravens, Jeff, as a backup, even though they have
a team.
Go.
Let me give you a team.
Go.
And
I'll play it off.
Well, listen, I give this serious consideration. If I were the Bears, I would do this. Why not?
But I understand it, but he hasn't played in a couple. Like he's not just going to come in and do like a play. Like he's got to ingratiate himself back to the NFL, not in the good graces of owners. I'm just talking about being back on the football field and playing well. I don't think you could just take a guy off the street that hasn't really broken down film or done anything for 3 years and throw him into a playoff race.
I think this kid is a better option than Trubisky.
I can't even argue with you.
Here's the great thing about Colin Kaepernick. Donnie, here's what I think people forget about Colin Kaepernick and why some people are good at life and some people aren't. Like, Donnie, my dad, for instance, my dad isn't the strongest guy in the world. Yeah. He's not the best looking guy in the world. He's not the richest guy in the world. Mm-hmm. But my dad's just good at going out and being a good person, and he knows how to win. Does Colin Kaepernick have that where he can just go and he just knows how to do things? Athletes are generally, Donnie, guys that are creatures of havoc. They can plug themselves in. I'm going to guess that Colin Kaepernick's not for the last 3 or 4 years sitting at home, not doing shit. He's out there every fucking morning doing the same workouts he'd do if he was in the league. Again, is it going to be right away? No, I don't think.
But you know how he would actually make it back in, because it's clear there's an olive branch being extended, and Roger Goodell was saying behind the scenes, like, somebody bite on this, like bring this guy in, we could put it to bed. But I'll tell you right now, it's not going to happen, Jeff. Let's just say the Steelers, right? They're not getting great quarterback play. They're still in the playoff hunt. Mike Tomlin would be a perfect head coach for Colin Kaepernick. But you know why it wouldn't work? Is Colin going to come back and take a knee during the national anthem and be the backup? Teams don't want that. Teams don't want that.
I think we need to get past the kneeling.
But not even exactly. That's what I'm saying. Nobody does it now. Like, you know what I mean? Like Michael Bennett doesn't even do it anymore. But like if he comes back and Alexander Villanueva, who's the guy that said, look, you guys can stay in the locker room as a team. I'm standing out there. And it was a huge culture shock to the Pittsburgh locker room. Would you bring a guy in? Look, if Colin Kaepernick says, hey, you know what? I did that in the past, and I'm fine. You guys know my stance, but I'll come in and I'll stand.
That's what I'm trying to say, Donnie. At this point, it's got to be about Colin's play on the field. We know he's a social activist. We know where he stands.
Yeah, but you can be a social activist.
No, but I'm saying he doesn't need to
kills him.
Right, he doesn't need the kneeling thing. He doesn't have to do that anymore.
Exactly. Yes, he would have a job. He would have a job if he came in. Carolina Panthers, whoever. If he comes in, like, look, man, you know my stance. I'm going to be active in the community. I knelt because I wanted everybody to talk about it. I got everybody to talk about it. I'm past that. I want to play football, but I'm still going to be socially active and in the community. They would sign him in a second, but all they want to know is, Colin, if I bring you in and we do think you can actually play football, you're not going to be the starter. The last thing I want is you to take a knee, and all we talk about for the next 2 weeks is, why did you take a knee? How can this be? Do you see what I mean? That's all.
Yeah. No, I think I'm not going to get personal. People know where I stand with Colin Kaepernick. I know you don't like personally Colin Kaepernick. I do. I find him to be a hero. I think he's a kind of a social hero for everyone that's oppressed. And if you don't like Colin Kaepernick, and I mean this, if you don't like him, I get that. I get, he's a polarizing guy. Donnie, on YouTube, and I just offer you to go watch this. There's a 7-minute speech that Colin Kaepernick makes. It's the only one that I've ever heard of him make. He did it at Amnesty International. He had won an award, and he did a 8-minute speech on why he kneels. It's pretty fascinating, I think. I found it to be very rewarding by listening to it. It makes complete sense. Listen, Donnie, is there things about Colin that I don't agree with? Yeah, I mean, the Fidel Castro stuff was a little extreme. But again, Donnie, I support John Gotti, so I kind of have some odd views in my own right. But like pigs on his socks, he doesn't like cops. There's a lot of people that don't like cops. Take out what you don't like about Colin. About football, Donnie, he should be in the league. But
it's also, you're right. No, athletic-wise, he should be, but it is a business, and teams weigh that because if Tom Brady is doing the exact same things, Boston loves Tom Brady. If Aaron Rodgers took a knee in Green Bay, the entire crowd during the national anthem would take a knee with Aaron Rodgers. That's what you have to weigh it against. See what I mean?
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, but why is that, Donnie? Because they're white.
No, it's because they're really good at their position.
Sure, but that's
if a white quarterback was out here just acting like a fool and doing all that nonsense and stunk, they would run him out of town too. If you are an outstanding athlete, people
they get it, and again, that's a form of privilege, which it's fine. They're better than others, and they're just going to get less shit for it. But listen, in his prime, Colin Kaepernick was a pretty good player. I mean, in his prime, will he do a Michael Vick type of thing where he was pretty amazing at what he was doing? I mean, he got to a Super Bowl.
No, that's rare. Michael Vick's such a rare talent that it worked out. I don't think
it was pretty good. He was a pretty good player.
Mike Vick was outrageous. Yeah, no,
I'm not comparing him to Michael Vick. I'm saying the situation's similar. They were out of the
you can read, and again, I don't read. He is not going to jail. He didn't commit a crime for what he did, so it's way different than like Mike Vick. But I think if you are Colin Kaepernick and you really want to raise your awareness, you come back in the league, you take the backup role, you do as well as you can. You'll probably end up being a starter at some point because quarterbacks go down every damn week in this league.
Sure.
But if you play the part as like we just explained it, hey man, I did this to get awareness. I have awareness now. I'm on a higher platform now, and now I'm ready to extend it. People will hire him in a second. Man, we forgive people who don't like Kaepernick if he comes out and does his part. Nobody's going to be really upset and get mad at him. It's the fact that if he just says, all right, I'm going to come back to a team and he's kneeing day one again. That's just what people get upset about.
I'll tell you, man, it would be quite amazing to see Colin Kaepernick come back and do well. Like take a team to the playoffs or change the thought on a team. Like, Donnie, imagine he goes to a Chicago and takes them to the playoffs. Imagine that. It'd be amazing.
It'd be a story. It would be a story. That's for sure.
It'd be amazing theater.
Yeah.
Now, Donnie, let me ask you before we move on from this subject.
Yeah.
Because I've always been curious about this with you.
Yeah.
Take out the fact that you have Cuban blood in you.
Yeah.
Because I get that.
Yeah.
If you say to me, why don't you like Slobodan Milosevic? I'm going to tell you why.
I see what you're saying. Because the same way. Because I wouldn't say that to you like, hey, Jeff, this guy did this. And then
because, Donnie,
I'll take it out. Yeah.
There are things about, for instance, Fidel Castro that certain people found very ornery. That they liked.
I know what you're saying. This, yeah.
Like the Che Guevara type, where like they're revolutionaries. Take out that. Take out, anything.
No, I know.
Do you personally support what he's doing?
Look, I like activists. Look, and to say who's the most active on the Eagles team? Malcolm Jenkins, right?
Yeah, or
Chris in the community, donating, doing all. I love guys that do that and go, even if they're going against the grain, which sounds kind of crazy. Like Chris Long's going against the grain. Meanwhile, he's trying to help as many people as he can. But some people, old school people, older generation, I don't agree with this or that. If I take all that out, the only thing I disagreed with was him taking a knee at the national anthem just because I didn't think it was the right time.
Donnie,
if he took a knee like before halftime or something like that, it was. I understand what he was trying to do. I just didn't like the way he went about it. That's all.
The thing is, though, and I mean this, I have no problem saying it. If you do not like what Colin Kaepernick stands for, you're everything wrong with.
No, you're right, Jeff. I think he stands for exactly what he should be standing for.
I'm telling you, Donnie, someday when you're not doing anything, go on and watch that video I told you about. He basically talks about why would I stand and salute a flag and country that persecutes people differently than others. And they basically tell us that the land of the free, this is where everyone comes to make it, yet for some people, that's where it is, but for some, it's not. And again, I get where you're going. I get it. Use your platform for something. But Donnie, he worked, because look at everybody talking about it. It's worked significantly. He's made a change. He's called to action something, and it's gotten people to talk. So I think it's look at all the other athletes that did it too. But again, it's very political now, because people that don't like the kneeling generally support something, and people that okay with the kneeling generally support something else. So
no, I mean, it was just like the way I was brought up just personally is like, the United States of America, the flag represents all of us together, united, and I just think it was division.
But see, Donnie, that's where the hypocrisy comes in, because that's not what it represents.
That is what it represents. That's our flag.
If you are a black youth, you have more.
You don't like the American? Why would you not like the American flag? It's the greatest country in the world by far.
No, I'm not saying I don't like it. Yeah. I'm saying that it doesn't stand for what you're leading on. It doesn't stand for all that. It hasn't stood for all that. Go back until since blacks have come to this country, they have not been treated like everyone else. It's just that simple. But let's not get too.
Yeah, but I could say if you said like the Confederate flag, because they had slavery in the South, but the flag is the symbol of the United States. Like that's,
it
you
is,
know what I mean?
100%.
Even for good or worse. But you know what I mean? That's all.
It is. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
But in that Star Spangled Banner, when they sing that, Donnie, it says, it basically claims what this country stands for. And if you're going to be united to everyone, and you're going to have everyone live the same way, then everyone should live the same way. Not just some people, not just, white males or black, whoever. Everybody should live the same way. That's where we need to be. And I think he was trying to.
No, there's nothing. I just, progressive movements come along, and Martin Luther King's, the Malcolm X's, you have to shake the tree. Do you know what I mean? In order to get the fruit to fall down. And I agree with you have to take hard stances, but sometimes I just disagree at the stances at that time. That's all. And again, I love what Malcolm Jenkins does, but he went about it a different way. He didn't kneel, even the raising like the fist. Like most people say, oh, well, I don't agree with that, but it's not as bad. Just the kneeing was just like, fuck this country. Do you know what I mean? That's the way some people took it, even though he didn't mean it that way in his stance. That's the way people take it. That's all.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
I love the military. I love America. I think it's a great country.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there are people that are not treated the same way as me. And Jim Kenney, Donnie, who many people don't like, said it best. They asked him about why you're okay with people kneeling. And he says, well, again, I'm a white man with privilege, and I don't have to deal with the things that they do. So I think it's like immigration. Unless you live in Guatemala and you're escaping, drug dealers are going to kill your family, and you have nowhere to live, and you want to go somewhere to make it, until you're that kind of person, I just don't think you should speak on it. And most of the people speaking on why Kaepernick is wrong are white people that don't experience driving in a car and getting pulled over just because they're black, or getting shot at just because they're black. I'll tell you right now, Donnie, in my 30 years of living, and this is the last thing I'll say on it, when I get pulled over, they're very nice to me. They take my stuff. They don't ask to search my car. Now, if I were black, they would. And that's wrong. People are scared of black people in this country. And it shouldn't be like that. If a black person walks in, it should be the same way if a white person walks in. That's how it should be. And I think he's trying to exercise that right. So, again, I hear your points. This is why this show is great, because you and I have separate opinions.
Yeah.
I'm younger. Donnie's got his opinion. I got mine. But I think we're all just want liberty, Donnie, right?
Yeah.
Liberty is a pursuit of happiness.
And it's all wrapped in the sports, which sports get you to talk about. I thought this was a sports show. This is a sports show. That's why these topics come up.
It's very much a sports show, and this is the biggest story in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie, let's get to some good news here.
Wait, before we get into the good news, because I want to spend a little bit of time on that. Real quick, Jeff, Ohio State story comes back out today.
Yeah, I don't know what this is about. Yeah. Tell me.
This is and this is why these guys are so good at their job, Jeff. If you know anything about Gene Smith at Ohio State, I mean, the man has the pulse of everything and can circle the wagons like nobody's business. So we see the Chase Young thing in the summer, accept some money. So he says, well, forget about even the backstory, which is all false from Ohio State's perspective. But think of the genius of this guy saying, this is the best football player I have on my team. Probably gets a little bit of information back in the summer and says, all right, we're eventually going to get pinned for this. But let's look at the schedule and see how we can possibly get away with it. When's the perfect time to do it is we're going to turn ourselves in before our 2 weakest matchups of the year. We'll get this whole story together as we go. So when we present it to the NCAA, they're going to tell us 4 games. We'll see if we can back down to 2. They don't really want to suspend them because they want to see the best players play to get the best ratings possible. So they go out, expend it. Hey, look at this. Suspended for the 2 games. Comes out today. Yep, he's going to have a 1 more game suspension. Then he's going to be back for Penn State. Gene Smith. You want to talk about, like, because you don't have like a salary cap, especially in college basketball or football for coaches or front office people, so to speak. He is the best AD on the planet, and he's playing a game like he's Mozart when everybody out here is like talking about like mumble rap. He is amazing at his job. If I was a university, president, I would hire him ASAP because he is playing chess when everybody's playing checkers out here, Jeff.
It's like comparing young guru or a guru to little baby,
little Yachty or whoever.
Yeah, it's like comparing those two. They're not even on the same fucking planet. No, hey, listen, Donnie. It's like when you have to do a 3-month bid.
Yes,
you got to go to prison for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Got to do the little weekend thing. You say, you know what? I'll do it January, February, and March. Fuck's going on anyway? You get out of it.
I mean, oh yeah, exactly. When do you want to go? Like, I mean, I'm talking about even going back to the days, Jeff. Remember Maurice Claret at Ohio State? Knucklehead, unbelievable talent. He's going to get ruled ineligible for the Fiesta Bowl against the Miami Hurricanes in the national championship game. You know what they pull off? Tressel and him. I'm going to fly he failed a certain exam. I'm going to fly that professor down because something was wrong with the exam, and they're going to give him an oral test like 3 days before the game. No shit, he passed, right? Plays in the football game. They win a national title. This man is outrageous. You wouldn't even talk about last year with the allegations of the crazy Zach Smith or whatever the guys did. The coach covered that one up. I mean, he's covered up tons of stuff for Tressel, the tattoo cases. He is a crisis manager like I've never seen. And I wish like back in the day, like if Miami had this guy in the 90s, Gene Smith, when they went through the Pell scams and all that stuff, they would have never gotten penalized for half the time, or even down there for Nevin Shapiro. They would have had no penalties whatsoever and had that cleared in like 3 or 4 weeks, man. He is worth his weight in gold, Jeff.
No, he surely is.
Yeah.
That's a great point by you.
Yeah.
Donnie, we'll go from one great leader in college to another.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, let me tell you something. I know I watch college basketball more than anybody. What Walter McCarty did last night was unbelievable.
Picked 8th in their conference, right?
That is that is a man right there that is on the way up. Okay. He's going to do some great things with, leading these young men. That was unbelievable. Donnie, he went to Kentucky. He won a national title with Kentucky.
Yep.
With Rick Pitino and Tony Delk and those guys. He goes in there. Donnie, they shot 9 for 30 from 3. They shot 12 less free throws than Kentucky and shot the same percentage, 37% as their opponent, and still won. You know why they won, Donnie? Because Walter McCarty's on the sidelines last night. That's why. He got those kids to believe that they could go in there and win, and they did. Amazing, unbelievable, and it couldn't have happened, Donnie, to a better guy. Walter McCarty, I think, was just trying to get himself into the coaching field. He took over from Marty Simmons at Evansville. Mm-hmm. They've not been great. Mm-mm. But I'll tell you what, Donnie, you look at some of the kids he's bringing in. You know who he brought in as recruit? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's brother. He's bringing in kids like that. He is PJ Fleck in college basketball. He will be in a big program very soon. And good for that program, whoever it is. He's everything right with coaching, and it could have happened to a better guy because he loves that team and he gets them to believe that they can win. That's how a coach should operate.
Oh, it was awesome to watch. I saw a couple of tweets coming. I had my eye sort of on the game because it was one of those same thing we talk about in the NFL, Jeff. We were saying like on Sunday, like New Orleans eventually going to beat Atlanta. Why am I paying attention to it yet? You saw Evansville with the lead, and minutes would go by, and they're still winning. 15 minutes left in the second half, 12, 11, 9, 7.
Well, you look at the stats, you say, how are they winning this game?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, they're literally playing like the best team in the country in their building.
In their building, yes.
And it's like you're waiting because Kentucky, like you're waiting. They're not playing well. Like you can win this game.
Yeah, it's fun.
And they didn't do it. They just didn't do it. And even like at the end of the game, Donnie, Evansville had like 2 or 3 possessions that were just awful. No, and he
Yeah,
just
shot clock violations.
yeah.
Yeah.
But do you remember Donnie Walter McCarty when he was at we
I
played
do.
for the
Absolutely.
Celtics?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Antoine
gutsy
Walker.
guy.
He played with Antoine Walker with the Celtics, I think, too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Now, Donnie, when he played there, you know what he became famous for in
What's
Boston?
that? What?
His gutty play, hustle, and penchant for making the big shot. Sounds like his team last night. Looks like he's rubbing off on them.
Yeah.
And also, shout out to South Alabama, Donnie, who almost pulled an upset on Auburn.
Jaguars?
I tell you what, you better look out for that group in the Sun Belt. They're really good. They're coached by a guy, Richie Riley, good coach. They've got some players down there. Watch out for that team. They might be in your arsenal as you get into conference play. But yeah, good for Evansville. Now, Donnie, will you be betting Evansville after that performance?
Of course I will. I love that. That's my aces, man. That's
Love
my purple aces.
Yeah, good for them. All right, let's move on to
wait. Hold on. Hold on. Before I just want to talk about one college basketball game last night: Oregon and Memphis on the West Coast. Now, I was joking about the kid's shorts, which I can't even believe this kid.
By the way,
shorts.
Donnie went exactly like I told you it would.
What, the game?
The game, yeah.
But here's what I want to talk about more than the game itself. The player, Wiseman, right? NCAA says, no, he's ineligible. Memphis says, no, he's eligible. Why don't they just have the same train of thought that Ohio State has? Look, we're going to make him ineligible. I'm pretty sure they can win their fair share of these December Alcorn State type games that they're going to have lined up.
The problem is if you conform to what the NCAA wants, what will happen is he'll never come back.
No,
they'll do what happened with D'Souza at Kansas, Billy Preston at Kansas, where they'll just say, look, and he's not coming back next year anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But here's what's going to take place, though. And this is what I don't want to see happen, because Penny Hardaway's in a really good spot now. He could sit down with that family like, hey, look, we helped you out in the past. We know that. Let's turn ourselves in. Let's see. Don't worry about this money. This money's going to turn up where you, quote unquote, pay it back just like it always is. We'll take the 10 games. We're going to get you back in January. We're going to run right through this and have a lot of fun. Or he can even play it off, say, hey, you're going to be a top pick in the NBA. Sit this one out. I got trainers lined up for you. We'll take care of you. And you know how far that goes down the line with other families that will get him to go there? But here's the problem with the NCAA. This is something that usually teams don't do. They're usually proactive. Well, we'll suspend them ourselves and we'll do this. The NCAA day is going to triple down when they actually get the sanctions back. And they'll run Penny out and he'll get fired. And Memphis will lose another couple banners, and vacated wins and set them back 2 to 3 years. Why would you put yourself as such a young coach on this team that they're going to beat you over the head where you can't win at Memphis?
Because nothing's going to happen to him.
Why do we? Yeah, but
it's not happened to anybody.
But they're defiant.
What happened to Sean Miller, Donnie? What happened
but there was no sanctions from the NCAA. Basically put out a thing that you're ineligible, and Memphis said, "Go fuck yourself."
What does that matter?
Because they didn't do that in the other things. When they tell you somebody's ineligible, and then you fight that and still allow the player to play while he's ineligible, they're going to hit you with sanctions down the road.
But Donnie, they didn't. The judge made him eligible.
No, the NCAA said he's ineligible, and they fought it in court to get the court system is going to over adjudicate whatever the NCAA, but that's not how the NCAA operates. They're going to say, okay, fine, have your fun, play him. Because when we make him ineligible and you played him, you're going to get 3 years of lost scholarships. That's going to kill Memphis.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
I think they're just letting it happen. See what happens. They're letting it ride.
No, they're not letting it ride, though, because the NCAA doesn't rule.
No, they're letting Wiseman ride.
It's terrible for them.
Yeah,
Penny doesn't need this.
But I think Penny knows that if he agrees with them and just said, he's ineligible, he'll never come back this year. And then this season is, I guess you're just hoping for one great season, and
then beat him over the head for 5 years, and Penny just moves on. Because I guess as a head coach, you could say, I'm at it. But they'll show cause. Penny is the problem, though.
I'm telling you,
show cause.
They ain't going to be shit that happens to them. What happened to Kansas? What's happened to Arizona? What happened?
The NCAA didn't tell them they were ineligible, though. They're going when you're still going through when they hand you like infractions, right? And it comes back. You have that whole process that you go through to fight it. You could say, all right, I'm going to skip a bowl game. No, it's not your choice when you're ruled ineligible. Do you see what I mean?
But Javonte Smart, the kid last year for LSU or whoever it was.
But I'm pretty sure he wasn't ruled ineligible, and LSU said, fuck you, he's playing. You see what I mean?
They did. They let him play in the SEC tournament, bro. Look it up.
Now I got to look it up because this is such an odd one where
we got to get.
I don't think Penny is doing himself a service here. I don't.
No, I mean, he's going to hurt himself long term.
Yes, he is.
Willie Balters, you can't be serious, right? That's not a serious comment by you. Chase Young getting an education is paramount. Glad he's only missing 2 games. He needs to get back to class. That's got to be you kidding around, right?
Does he already have a Scott? Does he already? He might have. I wonder if he already graduated. A lot of these kids graduate. So
he's
quick.
not. But yeah. I'm serious. He's not serious by that, is he? Is that just him being funny or something?
He's got to get back to class, Jeff.
That can't be. You can't actually believe that.
Did they actually have class at Ohio State, by the way?
No. First, and why the fuck would Chase Young care about class? He's going to the NFL to make a ton of money.
True. No, he's probably in basket weaving and having the time of his life.
I will tell Willie, I agree with him. If I were Chase Young, I'd go get as much as I could out of college because eventually you're going to be too old to play football and you got to learn how to do something.
Yeah, Russ, just, hey, I got a little bit of a background in physical management of my money. So, yeah.
Or, hey, I was a 10-year NFL player. I'll go handicap sports.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. And somebody will hire you. Like, this
guys like Jeff Schwartz have stealing money from that. Have stolen money.
What was his record? Did he win, Jeff, by the way?
Paul LaDuca does it as well. They steal money from companies.
Was it a good investment for them? No.
What, LaDuca? Well, yeah. LaDuca does do pretty good with horse racing.
Where is he tracked, Jeff? Are these guys tracked anywhere?
They were at Action Network and they didn't win.
Oh, shoot.
Settle down, Jukes. I don't know if he was serious or not. I'm trying to understand. Okay, he's being sarcastic. I thought so. Hey, Willie, let me just give you a little advice. Sarcasm doesn't usually play on the internet. As far as
I like it. No, I love sarcasm.
I'd say sarcastic things all the time. People, fuck you, big man, you fat fuck. You're not serious.
What a piece of shit. These guys are talking Kaepernick. Who would ever watch that? They're so
I guarantee the stuff I said about Kaepernick will be look, big man hates America.
Yep, or this will come up in the future. Like, just let's just say you have another business venture or you're doing something. How are you going to hire a guy to support Kaepernick?
No, that's so true. No, Donnie, I remember. Do you remember this summer, Donnie, when that maniac in North Philly started shooting cops?
Yes, yeah.
There's a guy on Twitter that says that I'm friends with that guy and support him for doing that. Oh. Even though I don't even know that guy that did that.
How could you hire him? Jeff actually supported this mass murder.
Yeah, which I don't even know the guy. Or I'm Albanian and I might be Muslim and I might be a terrorist. That's what people have said on the internet about me, Donnie.
That's true. Then you couldn't leave the country because of active warrants.
Yes, I'm on the no-fly list. Yes, that's what was said about me in the on the internet. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Why are you such an American hater? I hate certain things about it, but I don't hate it. I actually love it.
Yep.
All right, let's get into last night, Donnie. NBA, just kind of a little recap here in the NBA. Then we'll get to some college games tonight. We got Maction and we have some college basketball, which we'll get into. Sixers, Donnie, beat the Cavaliers 98-97. This was an escape type of win, Donnie. They did not play well in this game.
Nope, couldn't shoot to save their life from 3.
No, Tobias Harris, 0 for 11.
All-timer, 0 for 11.
Yep. Tristan Thompson played really well. Kevin Love had a look to win it, wasn't able to hit it. Easy cover for Cleveland, Donnie, 10.5-point dogs. Why were the Sixers 10.5-point dogs, Donnie, to anyone? I mean,
I guess just, Ben Simmons was back and they're home. And they actually should, regardless, they should have rolled that team. But, I already talking and strumming the things about Ben Simmons, and I've been a proponent of him saying he's young and, you buy in that he's shooting in the all season. He's making his priority. He's, as much as I get on like Nikola Jokic for his body, Ben Simmons, Jeff, is an embarrassment to basketball.
No, and it's sickening because we heard on the summer how he's working with these renowned shooting coaches. And hey, Donnie, I got something for you.
What?
While we're on the subject of the Sixers, you know what I'm on tonight?
What?
Orlando money line against the Sixers.
Back-to-back games. Yeah.
Let me tell you why. Donnie, this line opened Sixers -2.
Mm-hmm.
You know where it's at now?
+2.
Orlando -2.5. And you know why? Because Joel Embiid ain't going to play tonight. That's why.
Oh.
And you know what the big man on campus did? He said, you know what? I know that's going to happen. I'm going to forecast it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get on it now before it moves. And you know what? At about 6:30, Joel Embiid's going to be out for rest.
Answer me this question, Jeff, about the NBA. Like, we'd laugh about like load management.
Yeah.
Isn't it on the NBA? Like, and I'm not even talking about like, because you know me, I want to shorten the season. Let's just say nobody shortens the season. When you make your schedules, is it really that hard to be like, hey guys, we're not going to play back to back? Isn't it that simple? I can't understand this. Like, there's even times, Jeff, where NBA teams play 3 out of 4 nights. What are we doing? You got to be kidding me with that.
I mean, they need to do something. I don't know how you fix it. I'm one, Donnie, in belief that I don't think it's huge. Playing back to back, I don't think it's a huge thing. 3 out of 4 is tough. I mean, that's even Donnie, we had a guy in the chat the other night, last night. He was saying that Detroit got into Miami
like 5:30 in the morning or something.
Right, that they didn't sleep at all, which is totally ridiculous. First of all, they don't have a shoot around, so they don't have to be at the arena till 4 or 4:30. Like, they get enough sleep, they're fine. Like, people, I think, overrate certain things about the NBA and think that like stuff matters. Listen, in March, Donnie, back-to-backs are probably pretty tough. I mean, let's say you play in Utah one night.
You got dead legs in the season.
Yeah, you go play Denver.
Rookies are hitting their wall. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right, a couple other things, Donnie, last night with some of the scores. And by the way, Donnie, if you took Miami last night, you got a late push. It was 117-108. So for anyone that says that Detroit,
it was 9. What was it? So the line was 9 closing.
Line closed 9. Yeah. Some people may have won with 8.5. The Knicks get blown out by the Bulls. Good for the Bulls. Finally put a full game together. They have had issues with closing games, Donnie. They played well in the first half, then just get beat up in the second half. But nice night last night.
Fizdale, Jeff, a thief. What is that guy? A thief?
Incorrect. Fizdale's not.
Lord, man.
He is not in a situation to succeed there.
Yeah, but why is he getting bounced so early in like his tenures though? Like if he's like a good coach and he must be a horrible communicator to like. I'm not talking about players. I'm just talking about like upper management. Like like you could be on thin ice, but if you're a good coach and like Brett Brown, you would never walk in the hall and be like, oh, Brett Brown's such a shithead. But dang, he's really nice, and you give him the benefit of the doubt. He must not have that.
I felt like that was the wrong place for him to go.
Man,
I think a decently sized city would be good. Like, I think if you sent him to Portland or Indianapolis,
he didn't make it. He got chucked early in Memphis, though. Like 7 games into his second year?
Which I want to make clear, I thought was way out of line. Memphis let him go way too quick, in my opinion. But I think New York's a bad spot for him. New York continues to have trouble scoring. They're one of the worst offenses in the NBA. Lakers, Donnie, they beat the Suns last night. Game that we gave out
on the end.
Yeah, we gave out on the show 123-115. I thought last night, Donnie, the Suns would finally kind of show some cracks, and they showed. Also, Donnie, the Kings, who were without De'Aaron Fox, go in and beat the most gutless team in the NBA, the Portland Trailblazers. Let me tell you right now, I'm telling you, Donnie, all the fucking sharps in the NBA were on Portland last night. That shithead Worldwide Wob and all those guys, they were on Portland, Donnie, because De'Aaron Fox was out. Let me tell you something about the NBA, people. It doesn't matter sometimes if certain people are out. Others step up. It's about how that team is playing in that situation. Portland is gutless right now. You cannot lay points with Portland.
Portland always taking L's. They sound like they got some big money players in that team too.
And outside of Lillard and McCollum, they fucking stink.
No.
All right, let's get into some action, Donnie, tonight. You got some numbers.
Making it Jeff, if I said on the preview video, if you tuned in yesterday, Jeff, which game did we give out yesterday? Huh?
We gave out
over and Western Michigan.
Yeah. How did that Akron game go? What was the score in that game?
42-14, something like that. Sharp Akron, right?
Yeah, I mean, Western Michigan. You know what I did, Donnie, last night? I was late anymore. I had my odds screen open, and I saw that overtime had come in that Ohio game.
Crazy second half. Jeff, yesterday, if you have one thing that you want to look at Maction, Jeff, nobody was in the stands, 10 points at the half, blow out the total.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the game. I just saw that it was at overtime. I go on my odds screen, I see Western Michigan is minus 102 to win the game. And I'm like, they're a better team. They're just going to win. I know they are.
Yeah.
I bet it, came in. And, I did one of those things, Donnie, where I forgot I had bet it.
Yes.
And I turned the game on, and I see Bellamy literally running into the end zone as I hit the channel. And I'm like, sweet, game over. Give me that money.
Only in action, too, where Ohio has 46 seconds left in the game. They have a 4th down and goal from the 5-yard line. They don't get it, but they have 3 timeouts. I'm sitting there going to myself, I should probably go down and live bet Ohio right now. Because what are the chances, Jeff? The other team gets the ball. They're on their own 5. First down, and they run it out, and they have no time. Ohio stopped in the next 3 plays with ease and was like, zip, zip, touchdown. It's like, dude, how do you bet the MAC, man? It's great, but hey, it worked out for
It's
us.
It's a wild conference. I mean, and last night, Donnie, the cold weather didn't bother anybody. I mean, the game went over. I mean, the MAC is just a high scoring conference, man. Defenses aren't good. What do we got tonight, Rightside?
Tonight, 2 of them. This one yesterday we had what, 6 o'clock, 6:30, Jeff. Both of these at 8 o'clock. Dueling games: Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio, and Northern Illinois and Toledo. Bowling Green, Miami in the first game. Look at this spread, Jeff. Minus 18.5 opens up. Now it's at 17.5. Another low over under. So I'm going to assume it's cold out here tonight for the up 24 and overcast. But again, as we said, 6-mile-an-hour winds. It could be minus 72. As long as there's no wind in the MAC, they go up and down the field anyway. But, Bowling Green, hard times here. Miami, Ohio needs this victory to try to, stay on top and win their division. So 17.5, 18 seems like a lot of points, but Bowling Green stinks, man.
Yeah, I would look under maybe. I mean, both these teams, neither are explosive. Neither of these teams are particularly passing teams either. They both like to run the ball. Andrew Clare, those guys. The red zone production's not good for either team. They're 100th or worse in both. I just don't think and it's funny because they just talked about taking overs in the MAC, but this is one where I'd probably consider taking an under. I just don't think we're going to see a ton of explosive plays in this game. And I think you're going to see a lot of the ground game.
Claire's only actually played in 4 games, it says, so I don't even know if he's suiting up tonight.
Yeah, I think we see some punts. I'm willing to think that it's like I don't know, 31-13, something like that.
Cold one, second hand, 307, 308, Northern Illinois, and Toledo. What a shit. Like, we're used to Toledo being really good. Injuries and coaching changes. Finally, looks like it took attrition. 73% of the tickets actually coming in tonight on Toledo. Minus 2.5, they open up. 2.5, looks like it's primarily across the board. 54.5, 55, same weather, 26, 27 degrees. Both of these teams, not what we usually expect coming into the season and what we anticipate from them. So,
yeah, I mean, Northern Illinois has got only 1 road win all season. Toledo's been really good at home in the Glass Bowl. I just feel a little bit better backing them. I think they can create some big plays. I know Toledo's defense stinks, but as usual with Northern Illinois, they're just not a great offense. This kind of reminds me of that game last night, Western Michigan, Ohio. I just think Western Michigan's slightly better. They're at home. You're facing a team that just can't win on the road.
You got big. Here's the tough part about this too. Sometimes you want to bet these, Jeff, that we have live, because you're talking about Gordani, who's questionable for the game. I mean, he hasn't played that much this year. But then also Kovac, questionable in this game with a leg injury. He doesn't play, Jeff. Leading rusher, 116 yards a game on the ground, 1,000-yard rusher. That's huge. So this is one of those where, oh, look, he's practicing. And, hey, Jeff, look, kickoff. He's in sweatpants now.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, Keith Seymour's who's your cousin.
Yeah, exactly. Brother from another mother.
He's actually played really well. He had a great game the last time out against Kent State. Yeah. Eli Peters has been serviceable, but
I'm going NIU. I'm going to go NIU in this game. Give it a 2.5.
But I think you're right, Donnie. You don't want to depend on Eli Peters to win you this game. You want to get Kovac in there. You want to have Seymour in there as well. I'm going to lean the other way. I'm going to go Toledo. I trust Peters. Donnie, I can't back a team with 1 road win this season. Just can't.
I'm going with it. I just want to see the injuries, because if it shows up where he's ready to go, that's huge. But we've bet so many games, Jeff, where, hey, it looks like he's going to play. Oh, my God, he doesn't even have his helmet on the sideline. Bastard.
Yeah, and the MAC is notorious for
that. Info. Not even to the announcers, which is great. Yeah.
Exactly. What do we got in college hoops tonight?
Hoops tonight, Texas Tech. Let's go. I got the 3-pack lined up here for us. Let's see what we got here. We'll go right in. Forget the rotation. We'll just go right at time. 7 o'clock. Colgate, Syracuse, Jeff. 71% of the tickets coming in on Syracuse. Opens up at 10.5. Still sitting at 10.5. Over under 137. Hasn't changed that much. One sharp book out there, 136.5. But should we be panicked? Everybody loading up on Syracuse, Jeff? No line movement?
Yeah, and I got, obviously this is going to be, I think, Donnie, you talk about all the time, not betting early in the season, and kind of figuring out what these teams are. I think this is a case of, I just don't think the market really understands that Colgate's a good basketball team. Matt Langle has done a terrific job there, former Fred Dunphy assistant. Mm-hmm. This team made the NCAA tournament last year. They challenged Tennessee at times. I'm telling you, I don't think they just go in there and cover. I think they win tonight. I think they beat Syracuse. Colgate is a good basketball team, Donnie. They're the favorite in the Patriot League. They have really, really good offense. Jordan Burns is as good as it gets. Will Raymond, kind of that swingman type of player. Rapolis Ivanauskas, terrific Lithuanian big. They're great at the foul line. They finish games. I'm telling you right now, Syracuse is not a good basketball team. They don't have a lot of real good basketball players here. This is not one of the better Boeheim teams. Again, I'm taking the points. It wouldn't surprise me if Colgate win, though. They're a really good basketball team. And I'll tell you right now, if I was doing premium plays, which I don't start until next week, this would likely be on my card. I told you last night, Donnie, my premium card, if it would have been out last night, I would have put Mississippi Valley State over on it. Right now, books are just not catching up with the fact that they can't stop anybody. Like, they can. This is another game where Colgate's going to lock you down defensively. They do a great job with that defense. I really like this spot for Colgate. I think Syracuse is – I just don't think they're very good, to be honest with you.
No, how about having a week off? How about getting slayed and looking like shit against Virginia, but having a week off to get ready? Does that help at all, or what do you think? They're just under more pressure to come out and play well?
I think it really just makes it more wonky. I mean, a lot of the time when you have too much rest, you overthink things. You have a young team. I think sometimes when you get blown out, Donnie, the way they did, they put 34 points on the board, you want to come out and right the ship against a team. And that's where I think they fucked up here scheduling. I would have put Seattle next as opposed to Colgate. Seattle, you can go out and beat up. You could beat that team, get some confidence. Now you come right back with Colgate. And keep in mind, Donnie, do you know where Colgate is?
New York?
Yeah, it's very close to Syracuse.
Yeah.
This is, Donnie, like last night's game. Siena played St. Bonaventure.
Yep.
That's a rivalry, a Franciscan Catholic rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Siena's gotten beaten up the last couple of years against Bonnie's. Bonnie's go in there and get beat by Siena last night. This is too many points to me. I'll tell you right now, I'd bet this down to 8.5 if I had to. I like Colgate here. This is probably my favorite play on the board tonight.
Jeff, the one thing that you can't do is disrespect the Southland Conference. Houston Baptist going to play Texas Tech tonight, 82%.
Yeah, well,
of the tickets coming in, Jeff. Opens up 23.5, 24. Still at 24. There's no way you can go against Houston Baptist in the Southland here, Jeff.
Oh, you can here, and I will. Houston Baptist is horrific on defense. Horrific. Texas Tech should have any problem. This I thought, line was a bit low, frankly, especially after, Donnie, the dispatching of Bethune-Cookman in Eastern Illinois by Texas Tech. We're 3 games into the season now, Donnie. It's not – we don't know what we have here. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech is good. They're right there to last year's team. I think one thing, Donnie, you have to realize early in the season, when you have a top 10 team against a team like Houston Baptist or Central Arkansas or Bethune-Cookman, 8 times out of 10, if you lay the points, you're going to be in a good spot. Look at last night, Duke University. They lay 34 against Central Arkansas. They win by 50. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech is light years better. Donnie, this is a Houston Baptist team. They give up 95 points to Oral Roberts. Mm-hmm. This is a bad team. And Bethune-Cookman's better than Houston Baptist, and they still got their fucking clocks clean by 41. Lay the points tonight. Texas Tech should win at worst by 30. It
is an odd place where they're playing here. Well, I'm going to give you a quote, and I want you to know who actually said this quote. You from Midland, is that right? You from Midland, man. You trying to take my football away.
Yeah, Midland is Friday Night Lights. You from Midland. You from Midland.
You trying to take my football away?
Yeah, I mean, it was that great scene in Friday Night Lights where he tries to get the guy
in Midland. Yeah,
yeah, he tries to get him basically to.
Look, when can I play? When can I play?
It's like, dude, you can't. Your ACL is literally like broken in half.
It's a great move. It's interesting because Texas Tech is a lot closer to Midland than Houston is for Houston Baptist, so more of a home game atmosphere.
Yeah, I think that's like the only thing that could kind of derail you here. But the line's low enough, Donnie, which is interesting to me. And this is where I think the books mess up. Mm-hmm. This is too low of a number. Like, this should be, if I'm making these numbers, there it is. Yeah. That's great. Who is that? Buzz Bissinger?
HGB, Buzz Bissinger. Yeah, he's crazy, by the way. Yeah.
But Donnie, this is where if I'm books, this is where you're screwing up. This is where you need to hire people like me to give you the right info.
Yeah.
This should be 28.5, not 23.5. This number is too low. Texas Tech is a top 10 team. They need to be lined like it. And while they aren't, you've got to be betting the points here. You got to lay it.
645, 646, Providence and Northwestern. And by the way, just a little quick thing on Northwestern, Jeff. Did you see they're favored by like 45 points, I believe, against UMass this weekend in football?
Yeah, which over the last 3 games, they haven't even scored 45 points combined. Which, you know what, Donnie, I don't really care. I'd probably still lay it, though.
Yes.
Because UMass is that inept. Like, they will make any – they're kind of like – Donnie, like last night, for instance, like I've talked like so much about Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
with
like them in football.
It was like 6 minutes to go, Donnie. It was like it was actually, and I'll give you the respect. Western Michigan played horribly last night. They only ended up winning by 10, which is, sometimes teams play, but that's how bad Mississippi Valley is. Like Western Michigan was basically gifting them the game. Like, hey, stay in it.
Yeah.
Like, and they still couldn't win. They still lost by double digits. Like, it's kind of amazing. But I mean, I think Northwestern still covers. I think that's how inept UMass is. But
how about the emotional of this game? Because I saw clippings yesterday, Jeff, where they're asking the president of the university at UMass, like, you guys are getting embarrassed and it's not even close. You don't even have a conference. And he's like, yeah, at the end of the year, we're going to have to talk about what's best for the university. So get ready for that.
What the university should do is, and I mean this, the university should either go to a conference or go to Division II. Like,
they were 1AA for a long time. A kid that I played with in high school went to UMass and was on their national championship 1AA team with Mark Whipple. They just went, thoughts of grandeur like UConn did, and it ain't working out for them.
Yeah, I think we need to kind of consolidate, Donnie, about 10 teams in Division I. And here's who they're going to be. UMass, UConn, some of these teams that are just so inept year after year that have never had success, Rutgers, like all these teams. And we're going to say, listen, you either step up to the plate here, go into the right conference, or go to D1AA. Because let me ask you, Donnie, if you're UMass, wouldn't you much rather win D1AA, like, and North Dakota State type games?
Yeah, but you know what they're trying to do, though, which is because the football is what feeds everybody in NCAA. They were hoping if they could just shake on being independent, maybe like the big, the Big East doesn't have football.
But you're not the Air Force.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're hoping that they could latch onto a real conference and bring their basketball to a higher conference. They can't. It's failed, though. That nobody wants.
Then do that, because if you look at independents right now, Donnie, they're their own. Notre Dame has their own brand. They don't need to be in a conference.
That's what I mean. They're making UMass has no affiliation in football that can make them.
Brigham Young has the LDS.
Yes.
Configuration.
Yes.
The military schools have the fucking military behind.
Yes, they're paid for by the government. Yeah. They don't
and Liberty is almost developing into BYU also, because they have that non-denominational
following. Yes, they have
church following.
What's the word I'm looking for? The endowment, like the rich behind it. Yeah,
sure. Correct. They're kind of like Grand Canyon. Like Grand Canyon is like, in basketball, they've established that for-profit university, like
online. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. But UMass doesn't have any of that.
Nothing.
UMass is just a completely random team and they're hoping like, we'll attract the Boston market.
Yes,
like,
correct. Yeah.
You don't even play in
college is already there. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, Donnie, you know who'd be more popular? We should take Harvard and let them be D1 instead of UMass.
Yeah.
Like, UMass is completely useless. They should not be in. Even Liberty has a reason. They have a purpose. UMass needs to go. They need to go away.
They do.
All right, one more game. Let's wrap it up, Donnie.
Providence Northwestern, 70% on Providence, Jeff. Opens up at 8.5, but now it's dipped to 8. Northwestern, Jeff, is upset alert here, huh?
Well, see, Northwestern, Donnie, is an underdog for good reason. They should be. They lost to Merrimack in game 1, 71-61. Shout out to Joe Gallo for the win the other night. Joe Gallo followed me on Twitter, by the way. A basketball coach at a D1 program followed me.
Hey.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
I don't know if he knows what I do, but he might want to unfollow me. With them sanctions coming.
Yep.
Listen.
DMs are open, Jeff. Go ahead.
They are, Joe. Reach out. But no, I want to tell you what Northwestern is, Donnie. They're probably one of the worst Power 5 programs. Bad team, really bad team. It's not really matriculated for Chris Collins. He had that one season where they made that run, but this is a bad team. They lost to Merrimack because they're not good enough, and Merrimack just wanted the game more. This team can't shoot. They're hideous defensively. I know the line. You said the line went down.
Yes, 8.5 to 8.
That's just going to be your devout Northwestern Chicago people betting them. Providence is just on another level, Donnie, to what Northwestern is. I'm not buying the move down. It doesn't bother me. Northwestern is just a bad team. I think Providence is going to show people this year this team is really legitimate. They're really good. They have a scorer now in Pipkins that can just take a game over. They've got a ton of depth. I'm telling you, you want to buy stock in two teams, Providence and Xavier. These teams are built to last, Donnie, like a Ford F-150 late in the season. That's what they are. They're like fucking Donnie Bruce Springsteen. He just gets better as he gets older. Take these two teams. Get on them. Love them.
All right, Jeff, real quick trivia for you. Who does Chuba Ohams play for?
Chuba Ohams?
Yep.
Spell the last name. I'm trying to think.
Ohams.
Ohma. Chuba Oma. I know Chumo Kiki. He played for Auburn.
This team had Nick Honor on it last year. Now it doesn't.
Oh, Fordham.
Yeah, Fordham actually. I was trying to clown Fordham a little bit, but I clicked on. They actually picked up a win already. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, another team that is just kind of never going to win anything. They beat St. Francis, New York, which is who cares? I mean, St. Francis of PA is the team you want to beat.
They were so bad even with Nick Honor. I can't imagine looking at them this year. Good
yeah,
God.
I mean, you got to realize. I mean, our friend Jeff Neubauer's just never really had much there. I mean, I remember he had Joe. Remember he had Joe Chertunoy, Donnie.
Yes.
And he went to Marquette.
Yeah.
Donnie, one thing about them I love, they have the only Albanian player in the country.
It's kind of you said, like bring up Fordham. I would love to go watch a game at Fordham, one of the Rose Hill, one of the oldest venues in college basketball. Awesome.
In fact, I believe it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Shout out to Ertan Ghazi. He's Albanian. He plays for Fordham.
Yeah, the dude last year where they had a seizure, I think, on the team too.
So yeah, there you go. Good stuff, Donnie. Always bringing us some random
random knowledge that nobody cares about but me.
Thanks for watching, all of you. Now, Donnie, before we go, did you hear my singing career got started last night?
Did it?
It did. I was on Periscope.
Justin Timberlake?
And I was just talking about like the fact that I can kind of sing. I don't really have like a musical background or anything.
Crooner, not a crooner.
I don't have any training. I just can kind of sing. So I did my singing. I sang Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark. People actually liked it.
Yeah.
People enjoyed it. They said I actually had some talent. I don't know how.
Baby.
Yeah. So maybe sometime I'll sing it for you. Yeah. I'll sing it for the group here. I thought I was pretty good.
Yeah. Who's the girl from Friends was in that video?
Oh yeah.
What the dark hair girl? Courtney
Cox.
There you go. Yep, she was in that.
You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark.
This gun's for hire. I'll sing background.
Even if we just dancing in the dark.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey there, baby. All right, let's go. Let's wrap it up here. You all have a great night. Thanks for watching. I'll be back 5:00 Eastern. We'll hit the card hard. Basketball. We got what's so funny?
Yeah, people are telling it's time to go, man. Like they don't even want to hear the singing. Just for that, you should belt them another lyric.
I don't care what people think. I think I'll enjoy it. I think it's fun. So
my look, my hair, my face, man, I ain't getting nowhere.
I'm just tired of living in a dump like this. Hey there, baby.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. I'll be back at 5:00. I'll be going over the college hoops card. And then I'll be back at 6:30 to go over the NBA card as well. These shows have been cashing in. You've been making some money off them. And it's been fun. So make sure you join us. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 12:00 or 1:00 Eastern here on the show. Have a great night. Bye-bye.